I found out my wife had a secret bank account because of a single notification. One small vibration on a kitchen counter that changed everything. We've been together for 6 years, married for 4. From the very beginning, we agreed on something simple. No financial secrets. We both grew up watching money destroy relationships. Hidden credit cards. Secret debts. Quiet resentment. So when we got married, we combined everything. Joint checking. Joint savings. Shared goals. We budgeted together. We talked about buying a bigger house. We talked about kids. At least, I thought we were building something together. That night she was in the shower. Her phone kept lighting up. I wasn't trying to invade her privacy. It just wouldn't stop buzzing. And then I saw it. Deposit received. $3,200. Different bank. Different logo. Different account. I stared at it for a full minute. Maybe it was spam. Maybe a mistake. But it wasn't. When she came back into the kitchen, I asked calmly, "What's this deposit?" She glanced at the phone, smiled, and said, "Oh, that? It's nothing." Nothing. That word echoed in my head all night. Because nothing doesn't send deposit alerts. Nothing doesn't involve thousands of dollars. And nothing doesn't come from a bank I've never seen before. The next day, I checked all our shared accounts. No transfers missing. No unusual withdrawals. Which meant one thing. That money wasn't coming from us. For 3 days, I tried to convince myself I was overreacting. Maybe she had a savings account from before we met. Maybe it was something innocent. But something didn't sit right. So, while she was at work, I opened our shared laptop. She saves all her passwords. I didn't feel proud. But I needed answers. After a few minutes of searching, I found it. A completely separate banking app. Different institution. Different login credentials. I logged in. Balance. $84,327. $84,000. My hands started shaking. The account had been opened 3 years ago. 3 years. Almost our entire marriage. Every month, deposits had been made. Different amounts. Sometimes $1,200. Sometimes $2,800. Sometimes over $3,000. Consistent, strategic, intentional. Then I noticed something that made it worse. The account wasn't only under her name. There was a second account holder. Daniel Mercer. I didn't recognize the name. Not a coworker. Not a friend. Not family. So I searched him. LinkedIn came up first. Senior investment advisor. Private wealth management firm. Then Instagram. That's when my stomach dropped. There were photos. Photos of him at upscale restaurants, luxury hotels, out-of-town conferences. And in some of those photos, she was there. Same outfits I remembered. Same business trips she told me about. Standing next to him. Close. Too close for it to feel professional. I checked the dates. They matched the deposits. Every time she traveled, the account grew. That night, I didn't sleep. I replayed every memory in my head, every trip, every late night at the office. Every time she said she needed space. Had she been building a different life this whole time? The next evening, I placed the printed statements on the table. She walked in from work, saw the papers, and stopped. I didn't yell, I didn't accuse, I just asked, "Who is Daniel?" She looked tired. Not shocked, not confused, just tired. She sat down slowly and said, "It's not what you think." I asked her to explain. She told me Daniel was helping her invest, that she didn't feel secure relying entirely on our joint finances, that she wanted independence. I asked why I wasn't told. She said she didn't want to start a fight, so instead, she built a second financial life. For 3 years. Then I asked the question I was afraid to ask. Is he just your advisor? She hesitated. That pause lasted maybe 2 seconds, but it felt like an hour. She said nothing physical happened. She said he was just someone she trusted. But then she said something I will never forget. I needed options. Options. While planning a future with me. While talking about children. While telling me she loved me. She had been building an exit strategy. A financial cushion. A backup plan. Not because I was abusive. Not because we were drowning in debt. But because she didn't want to feel trapped. I asked her how long she had been thinking about leaving. She said she didn't know. That at first it was just being smart. But smart turned into secret. Secret turned into distance. Distance turned into emotional separation. And I was the only one who didn't see it. The worst part wasn't the money. It wasn't even Daniel. It was realizing that for 3 years, she had been mentally preparing for a life without me. Every deposit was a quiet step away. Every lie was a brick in a wall I didn't know existed. We tried therapy. For a few weeks, we tried to fix it. She said she loved me. She said she never planned to actually leave. But when I asked her to close the account, she said she needed time. Time. You don't need time to close a door you never intended to walk through. That's when I knew it was over. We're separated now. Divorce papers are being drafted. And ironically, I will probably receive part of that hidden money in the settlement. But I would trade every dollar to undo that single notification. Because the money wasn't the betrayal. The secrecy was. The planning was. The quiet preparation to disappear from my life without me ever knowing it was coming. Sometimes I think about that night. The buzzing phone. The unfamiliar bank logo. The word deposit. Such a small moment. But it exposed 3 years of silent distance. And sometimes I wonder, if her phone hadn't buzzed that night, how long would she have stayed? Until the account hit $100,000? Until she found the courage to leave? Or until I noticed the emotional gap that had been growing for years? I'll never know. But I do know this. The most painful betrayals aren't always loud. Sometimes they're quiet, strategic, calculated, built slowly, right beside you. And you don't realize it until it's already too late.